Hello everybody and welcome to our new tutorial here on our apron front sink cabinet. Basically this sink cabinet is going to be completely designed for a sink that looks like this. As you notice, the front here of the apron of the sink itself is going to overlap the cabinet, the face of the cabinet, just a little bit on the edges here. Most likely it'll overlap on the bottom as well as on the other side here. Now the back of this sink is basically clear, so it just has the basin that's going to be resting on the shelf of the cabinet, which I'll get into here in a minute. If you are looking for, if this is the type of sink you're ordering from the store, then make sure you use this sink cabinet. Now there's an alternative here, and that is the other more traditional farmhouse style sink. Now this cabinet that we're talking about in this tutorial is not for this sink that you see right here. Okay, use the farm sink cabinet on our website. Go to barkercabinets.com, click on base cabinets, and click on sink cabinets, and you'll see the farm sink cabinet. Okay, that's a little bit more simple cabinet, but we are talking only about the apron front sink cabinet, which is going to be for this guy right here. Okay, let's get into it. Cabinet vision, I'm going to show you a 3D model here of what we're looking at. Let's take this sink out of the picture here. Put it over there for a second. And here's a side view of the cabinet itself. And what we have here is a face frame rail right here. And the face of this is obviously going to be the same wood type, finish, and color as your doors. And the idea here is that your sink is going to overlap this part right here just a little bit. It's actually going to overlap here. You're going to have some feet resting on the shelf here as well as here. So basically the basin of the sink will sit on top of this shelf. It's pretty easy to figure out the dimensions for this cabinet looking at it from a 3D view. Let's take a look here. We're going to need to know the opening height, which is from here to the top of the shelf. And we're also going to need to know the opening width that's required, basically from here to here. So what we need to do is figure out what sink we're going to use. Now, a customer has already emailed me some specs. So they're using a Kohler Whitehaven under counter self-trimming sink. Now, the key word there is self-trimming. And we know we're using the right cabinet because we can see the flanges here on the side as well as underneath. Now let's scroll down and you can pull up these specs. Just put up the product code right there into a Google search. You should be able to pull up the specs on these pretty quick and easy. I've gone through here, and we want sort of a side view of the actual sink. Let's see if I can zoom in there for you. There we go. What I'm going to do is take a look here. I need to figure out what the opening height of my cabinet is going to be. So what I'm looking for right now is from this point right here, top of the shelf, to the top of the cabinet. So side view here, what I really need to do, and I don't need to look at the front of the sink, so I'm not trying to look at the height from the top to the front of the apron, or from here to here. I really need the height from the top of the sink to where it rests on the shelf, and that's this guy right there. That dimension is going to be 9 5/8 of an inch. They've given us that information right here. Obviously, that's from the top of the sink to where the sink rests on the shelf. It's perfect. The apron we have here is going to be 8 13/16. Okay, and the side view, as we see right here on this picture, we know that we need if the shelf comes in. Let's just say the shelf is at this level, right there. We know we need that little face frame rail that we have that's already built into the cabinet. We need a little bit of a gap right here so that it can come up and rest and give the apron of the sink a nice, clean, flat area to land on, so it looks nice. Okay, so that's what we need. We know we need the opening height of our cabinet needs to be 9 5/8 of an inch. So I'm going to make this cabinet 9 5/8 of an inch from top to bottom. So from here to here, 9 5/8. So basically I need to subtract 3/8 of an inch. Okay, so when I'm ordering the cabinet, obviously I need the opening height at 9 5/8. I have now done that. Obviously we build the cabinet to what you request. So I got my 9 5/8 opening height. Now let's take a look at the opening width. That's pretty. That's one of the things that's going to be a little different, and in this case it's actually pretty simple. They have an opening or an actual sink width here of 34 inches. Okay, and that's fine. That's great. What they're really asking you for is we know that the end or the unfinished ends of our cabinets are going to be right about there, and I would say probably right about there, 3/4 inch thick ends. And when I'm talking about with the ends, I'm just talking about this part right here and this part right here. Pretty simple. Okay. So with those two ends right there, we know that our opening width needs to be 34 inches. So if our opening width is 34 inches, and we know that this side and this side are 3/4 of an inch thick, then we know that we really need to get an opening width, or I'm sorry, a total cabinet width of about 35.5. Now, you can order it 35.5 if you really want to. That's fine, completely normal. But most likely what they were shooting for here is for you to order the cabinet at 36 inches. And the reason for that is you want about an 1/8 of an inch gap between the unfinished end on our cabinet and then where the sink starts. It gives you a little wiggle room to get that sink into place when you're installing it. So if I was doing this myself, I would order the cabinet at 36 inches wide. And that gives us about an 1/8 of an inch play right in there. And that gets also, remember that when we see this little flange right here, if I can get a better thing, this guy right here, little flange right there, that flange is going to rest nicely on the face of our cabinet, which is right there. And it's going to make a very nice self-trimming look. So when it's all said and done, it's going to look very nice. So we would order the cabinet at exactly 36 inches in width. And then our opening height would be 9 5/8 for the Kohler model that I just showed you. And when it's all said and done, it's going to look like this guy right here. Bam, done. Nicely trimmed out, no additional pieces needed. You're done. So that's pretty much it. If you have any questions, feel free to give us a call or email, and we'll get them taken care of as soon as they come in. Thank you. Have a good day.